Thanks a lot, Aimee. The last speaker of our first session tonight is Amanda Strong with Eating for the Earth. Je vous présente Amanda Strong.
Hi, thank you. So what I'd like to talk to you about today are some inspiring initiatives around local food and simple initiatives around local food that have been going on across Canada. And normally when we think of local food or we think of food initiatives, we often think of CSAs, farmers markets, and urban agriculture. Well, I'm going even smaller than that because there's so much information about those out on the internet. I want to focus on the smaller, more local initiatives. So one of the easiest ways that we can get good local food is to actually forage it. And I'm not talking about dumpster diving. What I'm talking about is going out and harvesting the neglected harvests from the fruit trees around cities, in the back alleyways, in city parks, and in front gardens. And you do this with permission, but there is so much food out there, so much fruit out there, that there's no surprise that this is actually really catching on across North America. It's very simple. There's a lot of different ways of doing it. Some of the initiatives are really small and it's just sort of door-to-door, knock on doors and get some fruit. Other ones are really widely organized community initiatives that, organize parties to get and harvest and distribute. How much fruit is there out there? Well, in Toronto, there's an initiative called Not Far From the Tree, and they harvested over 20,000 pounds of fruit last year. And that's a drop in the bucket compared to the 1.5 million pounds they think is in that city. Out of the harvest, a third of it goes to the owners of the fruit trees, a third goes to the volunteers, and the rest goes into community organizations like food banks, like soup kitchens, and doing canning workshops. The reason I like this initiative is that it's so simple, and it's using a product which is out there and would otherwise go to waste. The next initiative I'd like to talk about is a way of getting food from out of the city into the city. And often it's hard to do this, to bring inexpensive food and good food into the city and keep it affordable for those, especially in inner cities and those on limited budgets. Last summer, I had the fortune of visiting with folks from the Good Food Club in Winnipeg, and they serve an inner city neighborhood where most of the people are on disability or some sort of social assistance. What they do is they run veggie van markets, and the veggie van goes out to the farm and collects the food and brings it into the inner city where folks can buy it at a reasonable price. Now, despite the fact that the food is relatively cheap, not everyone can afford it. So participants can earn money or earn sweat equity by traveling out to the farm to help harvest it, to help pack it and bring it back. They can also use this sweat equity that they've earned up through their work to buy meals at a local community kitchen. And all the food from this community kitchen also comes from the local farms around the community. And if you work in the kitchen, you can earn more sweat equity. The final sort of package around this is the Good Food Boxes. And the Good Food Boxes is basically a buying co-op where they go out, they buy in bulk, and then they distribute it among the participants. And again, there's opportunities for earning or paying with sweat equity. So one of the reasons I really like this is not only does it bring good, healthy food, but it gives transferable job skills, and it's a hand up, it's not a hand out. The last thing I want to talk about is a little bit more mainstream, and that's labeling systems. And these days, we're using labeling systems more and more to make sure that our food choices are in line with our own values. And the one I want to talk to you about is Save Ottawa. And Save Ottawa is a joint initiative between the Ottawa Tourism Commission and various Eat Local initiatives. And they help tourists and locals identify restaurants and businesses which have a local philosophy, that are supporting local business. They do this by putting a decal on the window of these businesses which say Save Ottawa. So you don't actually have to go into a business to find out and talk to the waitresses or the staff there to find out if they're buying local produce and what they support. And I think this is, even though some of the shortcomings around it are that it only focuses on local. I think that nonetheless, it makes it very accessible, and that's one of the reasons why I like it. And again, it's so simple that it can be done easily in almost any urban environment. So these are the 3 initiatives that have been inspiring me because they are simple and easily implementable, and they bring a lot of good, and I hope they inspire you too. Thanks.